Hello, welcome to LAF Film Fest. That's capital LAF space Film Fest. I was thinking today we might go on another little journey. How about one up to the great North Country? One of my favorite all-time places to go is Lake Superior. That is beautiful up there. From where I live, it's approximately 750 miles due north, almost exactly due north. From my cabin, if I set the coordinates, head right toward the North Star, I'll end up almost exactly where I came up there. Now, I know some people are saying, well, maybe the North Star isn't exactly north. I don't know. But anyways, if I follow that North Star, I end up within 30 miles of where I camped. So it's pretty dang close. So Lake Superior is majestic. I've seen Lake Superior when it was so placid that you wouldn't even see a ripple as far as the eye can see. And then I've seen it up there where there were huge waves, giant waves coming in. And, you know, if the boys with the Edmund Fitzgerald could come back and talk, they'd say, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It took that big freighter down. As the song says, 15 more miles. If they could have made 15 more miles behind them, they could have come around Whitefish Point and got out of the severe waves. But their faith was knocking. Faith was knocking. So I've been going to Lake Superior, not quite 3 decades. First went up there on a camping trip with my 2 youngest kids, Briley and Alex. And we went all the way up there, and that's back when along the 12-mile beach area between Grand Marais and Munising, a large section was still sand. They were packed down sand roads and gravel, a mixture of both. And we went up there and found 12-mile campground, just kind of basically just stumbled across it and ended up staying there and had a great time. And ever since then, I've been going up ever since. It's just, you know, it's a place that has grabbed my heart. And you know, if I can make it up there at least once a year, it's well worth it. I'd like to do more than that. So far this year in 2020, if you check out the channel and check out a few of my videos, there's a video on Northward Bound 2020, and that's where me and my future father-in-law Gary went up there and took a road trip, and we went to Whitefish Point and Grand Marais, went to the falls. Took the boat cruise out on Picture Rocks shoreline. That was nice. That was highly recommend that boat ride. Wow, that was super cool. The people at Picture Rocks boat tours do a great job. I think the tickets were like $45 a piece for like a 2-hour tour, you know. And check out the videos. They're pretty cool. And it was a beautiful day, and yeah, we both loved it intensely. So the reason for this video, though, is back about 2 years ago in 2018, I like to push the limits on 12-mile beach. You know, everybody knows that lives in the UP and have lived up in that area that once September comes, the weather starts changing a little bit. But if you get into October, October is when you can really start to get some big storms coming off the lake. And you know, they're pretty famous. You know, the gales of October and November are legendary out there. And so what I'm about to tell you is a little small story about 2 years ago when I went up there and set camp up. Campsite number 26 at 12 Mile Beach. When I cruise up there, I take my adventure dog, Sammy. He's a bear doodle. Good dog. So me and him go up there. And we went up there and we ended up staying 14 days straight. That's the maximum that you can stay before you've got to pull camp up and head to another campsite or head home or whatever. They only let you stay for 14 consecutive days. So we went up there and we made all 14, which was pretty awesome. But anyways, we got up there and set camp up. Weather was pretty nice. You know, it was probably like on a Sunday, and the weather was nice. Probably, I'm thinking it was probably 65, something like that. Slight breeze blowing, sky's blue. Set camp up. It usually takes me, you know, I take a small pop-up with me up there, and so by the time I go up there and I set camp up and I put a lot of tarps up, and because you know when you're staying for 14 days, you're going to expect storms. You're going to expect rain to come in, so you know it usually takes about a day to set everything up. So I get up there, set everything up. Sammy helps by you know, he keeps the chipmunks back. You know, chipmunks will come up and they'll mess with him, and you know, Sammy will chase them off, and it's kind of funny to watch him. Chipmunks and squirrels will mess with him all the time. But anyways, so I set camp up and spend the night. Next day, you know, got up early, took a hike on the beach, come back in, went back into camper, and was gonna have some cereal and a cup of coffee and kind of just relax for a little bit. And next thing I know, I heard someone walk into camp, and I heard a female voice go, "Hello." Of course, I say, "Hello," back, and opened the door and stepped out, and it was a lady park ranger. And she said, "Hey," she said, I hate to disturb you." She goes, "But I've got some information for you." And I said, "Okay." I said, "What's going on?" She goes, "You know," she goes, "I see you've got your camp up set up pretty nice here. You got your tarps, got a lot of ropes. Looks like you know what you're doing." But she goes, I want to just come up here, and I'm warning all the campers that starting tomorrow there are going to be gale force winds coming off the lake." And I said, "Okay." I said, "I got everything pretty tied down. I think I'm ready." And she says, "Yeah." She goes, "It looks like you've done a good job." But she goes, "Once again, these are gale force winds." And then she said, "These are the kind of winds that break things." Okay. Now, I've been on a lot of adventures. I've climbed mountains. I got hit by storms. I've camped, got hit by storms. You know, so far, so good. Things have went okay. Gotten some scary spots, but okay. But when she walked away, I got to sit there thinking, you know, maybe I ought to go down and tighten these ropes up a little bit more. You know what? I think I'm going to add a few more ropes too, just in case, because I could tell I could tell she wasn't joking. I could tell she was, in a way, she was kind of saying, hey, you might want to pack it up and go home. Of course, you know, I'm up there for the adventure, right? I mean, I go up there for the nice weather, but you take some nice storms coming in. Ooh, yeah. Now that's exciting. That's kind of like it gets the adrenaline pumping a little bit. You know what I mean? So anyways, so I spend the rest of that afternoon, and I kind of start tying things down, and I'm noticing as the day goes on, something's starting to happen. You know, the clouds are starting to roll in a little bit. The wind has really started to, actually the wind started dying down, which means my camp faces north, faces right out into Lake Superior, and when it dies down like that, but you still see the clouds moving, it's an offshore wind. So the wind has shifted around to the south, okay? So I could tell there's some changes going on. Early the next morning, I woke to the sound of the wind. And on Lake Superior, when you're camping on Lake Superior, you have wind, like I have wind here in southern Indiana, and thunderstorms will come in. And every once in a while, when a real cold front comes down, you'll hear the roar of the wind. But when I woke up, you could hear it, and it was out on the lake. And it was like, right away, it wasn't hitting my camp, but right away I could tell this is what she was talking about. That sounds pretty powerful out there. So by mid-morning, it was getting tough. It was, the wind started howling. The rain started coming in series of like small storms, but not really like lightning storms we have here. It would just hit with intensity and then go away, and then you could almost see the next wave. You could look out on the water, you could see the next wave coming, and here it would come. And then it would hit, but it was gradually getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Now what was interesting is that the wind, which had started from the south the day before, had worked its way to the west by that morning, started going from west to northwest. Now my camp started getting hit, okay? The trees were blowing like crazy, and I found myself instantly starting to recheck my ropes. Because anytime you have a camp set up, and you like I've got my pop-up, and I have a tarp over it, I have an entrance that I can come in and out, and then you go down, and whichever way the dominant wind you think is going to be, most of the time you should have it where it slopes down to the ground, so the wind will hit it and go right up over the top of the camper, okay? But the problem is I had it set up okay at the beginning, but as the wind kept shifting around, it started getting underneath my tarp, which was then blowing up like a balloon, and I knew there's no way it's going to hold. So I found myself for literally the next 10 hours going around, adding more rope, rearranging my rope, tying one section down, loosening another section, because at some points, the wind got so strong, it was howling so hard that you could tell the whole dang thing was going to blow up. I mean, it was going to lift off, and at that point right there, I actually had my camper tied down where I had giant ropes going over the top of the pop-up down to big sand anchors I had in the ground. So I had one layer after the other of it anchored down, but I've never experienced winds like this. I mean, these things were incredible. And the rain when it came, it did not come down like this direction. It was coming sideways, right at you, right off the lake. Storm I've ever had on Lake Superior. I hope it holds. I tell you what, man, it's like Gale coming in. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We'll go down on the water and take a little video. Now, for those that have camped on Lake Superior in the fall, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like when they talk about the gales of November coming in, and they talk about how you can hear the witches. Believe you me, you can hear the witches, and they are screaming. I've got it on videotape. This segment I'm going to do right here, I'm going to put together just a small section that I did on my phone. But I had my other Nikon camera with me, and whenever I get my channel all set up and running and got my computer ready to go and I can bring those archives back in, I'm going to present you with some footage where you can hear the witches screaming out there. Never been through anything like that before. Anyways, I battled it. I battled it all day long, and even that evening, eventually the wind is flat coming straight from the north. It didn't seem to shift anymore, so at that point right there, it gets dark. I get into the camper with Sammy, and the whole camper is just shaking back and forth like this, you know. And eventually, you just realize that's as good as it's going to get. Shut off the light, try to get some sleep. Every hour or so, I'll pop the light back on, take my video camera, videotape the sides of the camper where they're just shaking like this. The winds never stop. They just howl the whole time, just pounding that the camper, the shoreline, the trees. Pretty incredible. Yeah, honestly, it was pretty exciting. So the next morning I get up, wind still howling, but not near as much. So I decided to go ahead and walk through the camp and see if everybody's okay. I did the day before when the winds were howling so bad. There were a couple ladies that had camped not far from me, and they set their camp up, and then I guess I don't know if maybe the wind scared them or something, and they took off. The next thing I know, I look and their tent was literally just blowing down, crushing it. So So I went over there and I tried to take some ropes and I tried to tie it down the best I could so it wouldn't blow away. But it was already, the poles were already bent pretty bad and stuff. So the next morning I get up and I walk through the camp. And I mean, it's amazing how many tents and how many screened in picnic areas that you'd see wrapped around trees, blown over to the other side of the road, just demolished. You could tell people, I guess, throughout the night, or maybe even during the day before, just got them, just left, just booked out of there, figured that, you know, their camping stuff wasn't worth risking their lives or whatever for. So, yeah, it's pretty cool to see, you know, how much devastation winds like that can do. All I can say is the ranger lady was exactly right when she said, these are winds that break things. And holy cow. I survived it. I will go back for sure. And each time I go, I just learn something new. I learned that, okay, you know, how to tie, how to put my tarp, how to arrange the pop-up. You know, I do everything. Each time I just learn a little bit more. So, exciting time. I hope you enjoy this video. And if you ever decide to go up there, just prepare yourself. Who knows? You could go up there and it could be 65 degrees and placid. But you got to prepare for the big storms. If you head up there, prepare for the big storms. So, that's my story. That's my journey. LAF Film Fest, capital LAF Film Fest. I really appreciate you coming to the channel, checking out the videos. Check out more of my videos if you like. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to. I've got a lot more adventures to share with you, and together we'll go exploring. So, peace out. So anyways, this is Sammy. Sammy is a bear doodle. He's a good dog. He's a good watchdog. He's friendly to me and Mrs. Melissa. But anybody else comes on the property, Sammy don't like it too much, do you, buddy? Huh? No, you don't like. No, I know you don't like it. You don't like it. He shows you big teeth. See that? Oh yeah, that's what you do, huh? If you want to see Sammy in action, go to one of my videos called "Sammy the Siren," and you'll see what happens when a fire truck comes by and starts setting their siren off. Sammy likes to play. Look at him, he's a ham. You're a ham, Sammy. You're a flying dog, ain't you, huh? Oh, like to fly. He loves the beach. Man, he can run up and down that beach. We'll hike down 12 Mile Beach. We'll go, we'll go 10 miles one direction, turn around, and come on back. And if I do 20 miles that day, I know he does 40 because he's running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Right, bud? All right. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out.